You're listening to The Takeover on your Wednesday night on Life FM, and it is time for this.
Wellness Wednesdays on The Takeover. Brought to you by station sponsor Kelli K Naturopath. Book your free discovery call today to uncover better health and quality of life.
Yes, Kelli K joins us for another Wellness Wednesdays. Kelli, welcome back.
Oh, good to be back.
So good to have you back. Tonight we are looking at wellness and nutrition, surrounding a topic that is very relevant for a lot of the population right now here in Australia, and that is hay fever. It's a big thing at the moment. Lots of people struggling with it. I have to say I am very blessed to say I've never really had hay fever, so I've actually got a lot to learn from tonight in terms of what it actually is. But a lot of people around me suffer with it, and I know that springtime, royal show time, which we've just wrapped up in the last few days, it's a really bad time of the year for people who do struggle with hay fever.
Yeah, absolutely. Spring is here.
Welcome to spring, everybody.
Welcome to spring. All the blossoms are out and it's beautiful, but not everyone is loving it.
No.
So what is hay fever? Essentially, it's an allergic reaction to pollens and grasses and things. And it's often related also to eczema and asthma. So it's what we call an atopic condition. So often you'll see those three conditions sort of clumped in together in families.
Yeah.
Yeah. And often people, maybe had eczema or asthma as a child, and then they grew out of that and sort of developed hay fever later in life. So it's that propensity to have that sort of allergic reaction or hypersensitivity to those pollens and grasses, usually flowers, and it can be a little bit, what people react to can be a little bit different for everyone.
Yeah. So essentially hay fever is like a really strong allergic reaction to just nature. Would you say that that's a good way to put it in a nutshell?
Yeah, well, I guess you could put it that way. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay.
So, there's a huge histamine response. So, people often require antihistamines, and that's what causes those, sneezing, itchy nose, itchy eyes, puffy, swollen eyes, that kind of horrible feeling.
Yep.
And it can be, if it's severe, it can be really quite debilitating and make you feel really awful and really tired as well. So, I guess part of the strategies for trying to manage it is to really try and target that inflammation that comes with that immune response and regulate the immune system. There is a big link with hay fever and gut health as well. So the changes in what we eat and, more exposure to antibiotics, changes in the way, more cesarean births as well, means that we are losing a bit of diversity in our microbiome and our gut bacteria, and that will have an impact on our immune regulation, basically. So we're seeing more and more of these allergic type responses, more asthma, more eczema, and more autoimmune conditions as a result of the damage within the gut as well, and the changes in our gut health.
Just from what you're saying and, the autoimmune connection, I'm getting that there is a bit of a connection between autoimmune conditions and hay fever. Is that true?
Well, not so much autoimmune and hay fever.
Okay, yeah.
But they both involve an overreaction of the immune system.
Right, okay.
Autoimmune is specifically when the immune system attacks a part of our own body, a part of ourself, whereas hay fever, eczema, asthma and other allergies are when the immune system attacks a foreign protein or a foreign molecule.
Okay.
Doesn't recognise it, doesn't like it. And so it mounts a response towards it. Yeah.
That's a foreign thing. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very interesting, because I was just going to say I have type 1 diabetes, which I know is an autoimmune condition, but I never really had hay fever. So I'm like, I wonder if that's because I've got one, I haven't got the other, or I guess there's probably lots of different variables.
Yeah, there'd be lots of different variables. It could be to do with, a little bit to do with genetics as well. Sometimes it just, the way that our body responds, it plays plays out differently for different people. So, but both definitely do involve what's going on in the gut. Yeah. And until we address that, I mean, as a naturopath and a holistic nutritionist, I'm all about addressing the cause as well as symptomatic relief. So unless you actually get in there and address that, you'll continue to have those sort of problems. Really. Yeah.
Okay, which is a great segue into what we're going to discuss straight after this, is some of those natural health remedies, I suppose, for dealing with hay fever. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Wellness Wednesday with Kelli K, Naturopath, here on Life FM. You're listening to The Takeover on Wellness Wednesdays with Kelli K, Naturopath. Kelli, so good to have you here in the studio tonight.
So good to be here.
Tonight we are looking at hay fever. It's something that can be really debilitating when it's really quite severe for people. And I know that my very first job actually was working in a chemist, and, hay fever medication, things like Zyrtec and all of those kinds of things, they're really, really popular, particularly at this time of the year.
Yes.
Because allergies and just hay fever, it's so rife in society. We were talking a little bit about what actually causes hay fever, but right now you're going to go through a few of the different natural therapy approaches to dealing with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said previously, obviously addressing gut is really important. So when I'm in clinic working with someone to address their hay fever, we're always looking at trying to do a bit of a gut protocol, really trying to heal the lining of the gut. So we know that when there's hyperpermeability in the gut, that allows those larger molecules and proteins to go in and trigger the immune response. So doing some gut work is really first and foremost. And then we would look at using sort of herbs and nutrients which have a naturally antihistamine response, or they help stabilize the immune cells that release histamine and that are involved in that response. So some that I might use therapeutically would be things like quercetin. Vitamin C is naturally antihistamine. Nigella, albizia, which are herbs that can be used commonly for hay fever as well. And then there are also some probiotics that have been shown to help regulate the immune response as well. So, and have some really good research behind them for these types of, for hay fever, specifically, as well as eczema and asthma, because they all fall within the same family of conditions.
Which is so interesting that asthma, eczema and hay fever all kind of can tie in together in you were saying in families. Quite often family members will have one or multiple of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I'm working with someone to reduce their hay fever, it's all about trying to help address the cause so that we reduce that reactivity, and then also help with managing the symptoms so that hopefully they can rely less on pharmaceutical antihistamines as well. And of course within that we'd also be looking at the diet and pulling out any foods that are going to drive that response. Often I've noted what we find in clinic is that with people with hay fever and eczema and asthma, there can be food sensitivities as well that compound the issue. So if we can identify some of those, that can often help by pulling out the trigger foods, help them relieve some of those symptoms as well.
Okay, very interesting. Well, when we come back, we are going to have a quick chat about some of the foods that can be really beneficial if you are struggling with hay fever. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Wellness Wednesdays on Life FM with Kelli K, Naturopath. You're listening to The Takeover on Life FM, and it is Wellness Wednesday time with Kelli K, Naturopath. Kelli, so good to have you here in the studio tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Tonight we are looking at hay fever. We've discussed what it is, I guess some of the natural approaches to dealing with it. But now we're going to have a bit of a chat about the foods that can actually support those who are dealing with hay fever, because it can be really debilitating. I myself don't actually know firsthand what it's like, but it looks like it can be pretty intense for some people who look like they're crying.
Absolutely.
And they're like, no, I'm not crying. I'm not I don't have a cold. I just have hay fever and it's awful. So
yeah, and you know, for some people, they end up taking time off work or school because
it's so bad.
Yeah, because it's so bad. Yeah, it's not very nice at all.
No, but there are some foods that can help the body to heal against hay fever.
Yeah. So obviously, in general, we want a nice anti-inflammatory diet and we want to have lots of nutrient-rich foods in there. But some specific foods that can be added in, things like ginger. So ginger is a fantastic anti-inflammatory and it can help as a decongestant as well. So lots of fresh ginger tea. I often tell my clients to try and have fresh ginger tea. It also has the added benefit of being good for the gut. So if we're also working on the gut, that's helpful as well. And lots of ginger in cooking. So lots of stir fries with lots of fresh ginger. Not jar ginger, fresh ginger.
The fresh stuff.
Yeah, fresh stuff. Same with garlic as well. So garlic is really great for immune health, regulation, and again, another decongestant. So I make up this drink which my clients love. And a bit of a reputation for now. But so I do fresh ginger, about 4 to 6 cloves of garlic, lemon juice, bit of cayenne pepper, honey if you want. I don't really do the honey, but put it with some hot water. And it helps just clear everything out. So good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. It's not as bad as you would think.
Yeah. No, it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad. Could you add a little bit of like orange juice or something to make it? You said there was lemon juice.
A bit of lemon juice, a bit of honey as well. And if you're using raw honey, that can be really have some therapeutic benefit as well, or manuka honey. Trying to use food as medicine, as we say. So trying to get the therapeutic benefit by adding these foods in. And then pineapple is one that's been touted as being really great for hay fever.
I love pineapple.
Yeah, so we do want to avoid the juices that have lots of sugar and things in them. But fresh pineapple, chewing on the core where all the bromelain is, that can help to help the immune system and help with some of those symptoms and breaking down mucus and things like that as well.
Fantastic.
And then lots of onions. Onions and green apples are really with the skin, the apples with the skin, not the onions with the skin, are really rich in quercetin, and that helps to stabilise mast cells, which are responsible for that histamine release, and helps with that, helps manage that histamine response as well.
I know quercetin, I never knew how to pronounce it, so I'm learning tonight, but I was actually recommended that when I had COVID a couple of years ago because it's also good
great for the immune system.
Immune support, so and it's good to know vitamin C is also really helpful for hay fever.
Vitamin C is really helpful, and kiwi fruit are a great source of vitamin C. Especially the gold kiwi fruit. So definitely be including those, and great for the gut as well. So you've got, kill two birds with one stone there.
I've got a question. Do you eat the skin of the kiwi fruit or just the kiwi fruit?
You can eat the skin. Is there
benefit in that?
Well, there's definitely benefit in terms of the fibre. The skin is very fibrous. So absolutely, if you enjoy it that way,
then do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, some great food for thought as always.
Yeah.
And Kelli, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your wisdom, because I know, as we were saying, it's not like hay fever is something that's necessarily a serious condition, but it can be really debilitating for people.
It can be really debilitating. And in terms of general health, and, it gives us a sign of how the overall body is going. And for me, when I'm doing an assessment in clinic, it's one of the things I always ask, because it tells me something about the immune system. It tells me something about the gut health. It tells me something about the propensity for the immune system to overreact as well, and inflammation. So if it's something that you struggle with, consistently, then it's always good to get some support to kind of address the cause and really get on top of it. And now's a good time before it gets too bad.
Nip it in the bud.
That's right.
Yeah. Fantastic. So good. And for more information, you can check out Kelli on Instagram and Facebook at Kelli K Naturopath.
Yes. Kelli K _naturopath.
Thank you. I had to double check that.
Yeah, or Kelli K Health on Facebook. Yeah.
Fantastic. Kelli K, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch up with you again in a fortnight for another Wellness Wednesday.
Thank you very much. See you then.